Hey everyone, it's Lori from Scraps by Sissy. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope your week is going well. Let's see, let's get this up. Yeah, it's finally sunny. It was really rainy the last few days, which Lord knows we needed it. But the sun is shining, it's going to be warmer and just in time for those little butterflies to be flying around. So what better stamp set to show off than the, what's it called? Brain stopped. Butterfly Brilliance. Isn't that a pretty stamp set? We're off to a good start. I'll give it a second here, get everything situated and let everybody join in. If you're here, please be sure to say hello so I know that you're here. And if I don't comment while the video is going live, please don't take it personally. I have to pay attention to what I'm doing or I will squirrel and forget. Oh, hi Vicky, I miss your face. You're here for all the shenanigans for the day. So we're going to be playing with the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set and the die set and this gorgeous designer series paper that was just released. Now this paper, even though this stamp set and die bundle set, it's an early release from the upcoming 2021-2022 annual catalog, the paper is only on a while supplies last status, and this piece of designer series paper right here, you can die cut all those butterflies all at once. So if this is something you think you want, you're going to want to order that before it sells out. We're actually going to be playing with this set at our scrap club at the end of the month. So I'm working on those pages now, and I have to tell you, they're pretty cute. The other stamp set we're using today is the Forever Fern. You can see all my stuff stuck to it. Hopefully this is going to carry over into the new catalog. It's a fun little stamp set. Remember how we played with that so much when the catalog first released. So let me give you the measurements on today's card. The card base, oops. Oh, and if you decide to order today and would like to order from me, which I'd be greatly appreciative, you can go to scrapsbysissy.com to see today's blog post. It'll have all the measurements on our card today, and this is the host code for March. Okay, so our card base is in thick Whisper White, and it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic black cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And there's one also on the inside at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then my basic white piece, the one in the front is 4 by 5 1/4. This one here is 3 3/4 by 5. And I see I forgot to put the designer series paper down. That little piece of designer series paper is cut at 3 inches by 4 inches. So those measurements will be correct on the blog post. All right, let's get started. We're actually going to use, I sound like Charlie, actually, he uses that word all the time. We're going to be using the Stamparatus because I found that it's much easier to use this when stamping this butterfly because as you can see, it's all one big stamp. Now I've seen some ladies cut their stamps apart and then snip the die apart, but to me that makes me nervous. I'm afraid I'd ruin it and then I'd be upset with that. I'll show you this is the dies that come with the set. Not only do you have this big one here that we're going to be using to cut out all those butterflies, you can see how they fit right over there, but it has some detailed dies too. And these little bricks, now note to self, it's not one big lump of bricks, it cuts each of these little bricks out individually. And then this is just a texture piece, as is that one. And then that's how I know where everything goes when I'm done. And there are the detailed dies. Aren't they pretty? And here's a tip too, when you're die cutting with these detailed dies, face the die up. Put your cardstock down, complete your sandwich, and then run it through. It really helps cut those details a whole lot better. I don't know why it makes a difference, but it did. So, all right, so let's go ahead and we're going to stamp our little... Now, I've got a bigger piece of paper than I need. It just makes it easier when you're stamping. So I'm just going to set this in here like so. And make sure everybody's going to fit on that one piece of paper, which they are. And then I'm going to take my memento. I'm going to move this guy out of the way so we don't make a mess out of him. And to me, it's easier to ink pad to stamp set. And we're just going to add some ink all over. Now, granted, we're only going to use 2 of these butterflies, but that will leave me with a bunch of butterflies to play with later on. So I'm going to make sure you got good coverage. And the nice part about using the Stamparatus for this is if we miss a spot, we can go back and restamp it, and it fits right in the exact spot. So it looks like it's got some good coverage. Got cold in the studio last night, so sometimes the ink doesn't flow very well in the pads. Okay, so let's give this a shot. If it doesn't work, we can just restamp. And I'm just using a furniture saver. We got a new couch and I had to get new floor pad, whatever these things are called. And it helps put more even pressure on here than if you were just to come through and press on it. We were sitting in here last month at Stamp Club and somebody mentioned they had seen a Chucky tool that somebody's husband had made for one of the other stamp companies. And see, now that one didn't get any coverage, so we'll just go back over and we'll press this in here like so. Anyway, we were talking about having Larry build us some, and then when, see, there we go, wasn't that beautiful? When he heard what we were planning on him doing, I think he kind of shied away. So I found those and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use this for now until I can talk him into building me something. All right, so we'll just clean this off right quick with a baby wipe. And we're good to go with that. And then we'll die cut this. See how strong those magnets are? Okay, we're done with the Stamparatus. Set him aside. Ah, he's stuck to my... There we go. And we'll bring out the machine. This beautiful tool. I love my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. That is a lot of dies, isn't it, Vicki? Yep, you get a ton. Okay, so I have my plates, and I will say it helps to have a very flat plate for this one. Makes it easier to fit everybody on the plate with equal coverage. We'll come through and we'll set this guy down like so. And make sure everybody's centered. That looks pretty good to me. What do you think? Whoops. And then I knock it. Okay, there we go. Scooch him over just a tad. Oh, I brought some washi tape just to make sure. Someday when they fix our magnetic plate, that will be perfect for these guys. So we'll just set this down like that. That way they won't budge. Set this down and crank away. There we go. We'll put our machine away. And you get to see how many little butterflies get to pop out of here. Except for when you have your washi tape on here. There we go. Easily. We'll set these guys aside because we're done with that. A lot of butterflies to color, huh? There we go. And we are going to do some coloring. We're actually going to use this butterfly and this butterfly, and I'll get to save these beauties for other projects. See the detail in that stamp? Isn't that pretty? All right. So I am going to color with my blends, I'm going to use Calypso Coral for the little guy, and then for the bigger one, I'm using the light smoky slate for the bodies because I want to keep the detail in the body. So I'm using Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight. This is the light Mango Melody. So I'm going to start with the dark, and wherever there is the black detail, I'm going to color that with my dark Mango Melody. Come in just like this, and you don't have to be perfect because we're going to blend it all in with the light and some of the Daffodil Delight, and that way it's not one solid color butterfly. And I think I'm about due for some new ones, especially my Daffodil Delight. The light one I noticed yesterday when I was making the sample. Ooh, it's almost completely out. Okay, come in here with some of the light. Just like this. Is this the Mango Melody? Yep, it is. They look so much alike when you're coloring. I want some dark Daffodil Delight too in here. You see, just everything's going to blend in really, really well. And just give it all those different shades. Okay. Now we've got, this is the light Daffodil Delight. Come in here. Now in my sample card, I had cut out the black detailed butterfly on both of them. Today I'm just going to leave these without that so you can see the colored part. You can let me know which one you like the best. I wanted it to really have a 3D effect, and that was what I was going for. And after I had glued them together, it was too late to take it off and use vellum or something. So you get to see both sides of it. Okay, so there's him. Now we'll come in with the light. And see, it just picks up the body and gives it some more detail. All right, so he's done. Now we're going to color the little guy. Same way, I'm using the dark. And I'm just going to come in here where there's more of the black detail and just give it some color. And then when I get to the light, it's going to blend it all in. Just like so. And you don't even have to be exact with it. Oops. Okay. My favorite therapy in the world. Who knew when Mom gave me that first box of 64 crayons where it was going to take me, right? If she could see me now. Although she probably is. So I went over on that little body, but you won't see it when I color it with the smoky slate. See how using both the dark and the light gives it that depth? And I mean, you can add as much color as you want to it, but I think this is good. There. Color his little body. I'm going to bring in a little bit more dark right here. Blend it a little bit more. Oops. Didn't realize I had the brush end. I don't normally use this end because it's such a fragile tip, but that's okay. All right. So he is done. Let's set them aside. Oh, you know what we want? Wink of Stella, or commonly known in our group as Wink of Wanda. because our friend Wanda uses this on everything. And Miss Wanda, she moved out of the area. Was it last? No, it was year before last. There we go. And then get some more Wink of Wanda over here. And the nice thing with using Wink of Stella or Wink of Wanda on using the blends is it doesn't watercolor like it does when using ink or water-based inks. All right, so that would give you a nice shimmery butterfly. What do you think? All right, so now let's make the rest of our card. All right. See, I did die cut those, but I'm just going to set those aside and save them for something else so you can see the difference in the two. Okay, so we're using these leaves, the dots. I'll just get them all out. Set these aside so they're not in the way. Try and clean up my work area as I go. So we'll start off with the envelope. And this is one of those very detailed stamps so that when you stamp it, you have all that depth in the image. Make sure I have my envelope right side up. So we're going to come in and we're just going to stamp him like that. And we're going to bring in these little dots, just like so. I just love the black and white. It's just very striking. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to stamp him. And this is the colors in the Designer Series paper. You can see the back. And it's got the Daffodil Delight and the Calypso Coral. We're going to come in with this same leaf. We're going to stamp him up here. And we're going to stamp this other guy down here like so. And then we'll bring in some more of those dots. Where did I put that stamp? It's right here. And I just want to get some throughout the leaves. Okay? And while we've got those guys out, let's go ahead and stamp our inside. Make sure that's our little one. It is. Because we want those leaves again. This time I'm going to stamp the leaves off. Like that. That way you can really see the detail on that. But I'm not going to stamp the dots off. Isn't that pretty? I just love the look of that. Okay, and we have one more stamped image or sentiment, and we're going to put him right there. A little crooked, but that's okay. We're going with the flow. And then we'll stamp our sentiment on the inside layer, and then we can just glue everything together. I'm going to come in here. Now, I line this stamp set up, or this stamp, sentiment stamp, with the smile. Looks kind of straight to me. Because the way the sentiment is written, you can get it crooked in a hurry. So let's put this away. Now we can put everything together. And it goes together pretty easily, doesn't it? All right. Got our stamp and seal. We'll glue this guy down first. And we'll put him on his little layer. And I have this just about 1/8 of an inch bigger because I just wanted enough black to pop through. Fold our card base. Add him to the inside. Make sure he's straight. Good. This guy is going to go in the center of our front panel, like so. That looks pretty straight. We'll glue him to the black layer. Now when you're lining up your layers, if you look at the 3 corners, that usually gets you pretty straight on your layer. See? Oh, that poor Hello. He's a little crooked. Add him to the front. A little harder on the... With this many layers, you could probably get away with using just the regular basic white. There. Okay, now we'll add these guys. We're going to use mini glue dots for them. Put them out of my drawer. And I just turned them over like this. It made it easier to put on the back. Put one there. It's hard getting used to the way the mini glue dots are put together now. Used to, we had them on this side, and for whatever reason, we now get them on the back side of the strip, like the rest of the world. Just lay those down, like so. Fold up his little wings. I'm going to put him going this way. We'll put him going this way. And we can't forget our bling. I'm going to use some more of the Artistry Blooms sequins, because like I said, they go with everything. I hope these carry forward. So we're going to put one here. And another one, we'll put him right here. And we'll put one of these guys up here. And we are done. I think I have a mini glue dot stuck to my finger. What do you think? This gives you a look at with the detailed on top and without the detailed die cut. What do you think? This way definitely shows off the butterfly coloring a little bit more. I like it both ways. And there's your inside and your envelopes. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to go over and finish my blog post so you can get all your details in. I thank you for stopping by and spending time with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.